Hello everyone, welcome to our Ask Geology, a whole new way to understand our Mother Earth. So in this today's 7-minute numerical, we will be discussing about one numerical that is related to your general geology. This is related to your law of motion. Law of motion or motion along motion in an inclined plane. Okay, this is actually GATE 2020 question. It is very important, and I will show you here what are the possible types. Okay, possible types means how these numericals can be solved. I will just tell two ways. Okay, so the question is, during a rock slide, 20 kg granite block. Okay, the mass of the block is 20 kg granite block. This is a granite block. It gets dislodged from the top of the planar hill slope and starts sliding down the slope as shown in the figure. This is the figure. The slope angle, as you can see, it is given to be 30 degree with the horizontal. After traveling a distance of 40 meter, now this distance is given to be 40 meter. Okay, now this distance is given to be 40 meter in the same direction. The block hits the road, assuming zero cohesion and zero friction. Now this inclined plane, okay, now this inclined plane is frictionless. This is frictionless, so there will be no friction along this plane. Okay, and considering acceleration due to gravity, g value is given to be 10 meter per second square. The velocity at which the block hits the road. Now, if this granite block having 20 kg mass, if it is just getting detached from the top, okay, now it will move at a certain velocity, and after moving for 40 meter, it will hit the ground. Now, the question is asking that at what velocity it will hit the ground. Okay, so if we consider there are law of motion, projectile motion, V is equal to U plus of AT, v square minus of u square is equal to 2as, and s is equal to ut plus of half at square. So these three equations are very much important from the perspective of law of motion. Okay, so in this case, how we can just solve the numerical. Okay, so if we consider this is 40 meter, and if we just find out this height, the height will be, this will be around, if this is the base, this is the perpendicular, this will be the h given, we have the value of h, we want to find out the p, then sin theta is equal to p by h. Okay, sin 30 is equal to p by h. Then p is equal to h sin 30. What is the value of h? H is 40. And what is the value of sin 30? 1 by 2. This is 20 meter. Now the height is 20 meter. Okay, now we are using, okay, in this case, first case, I am using law of conservation of energy. Okay, this is law of conservation of energy. Okay, I am using okay, this is one process. Okay, law of conservation, that means I am just simply telling that the potential energy at this point, potential energy, and the kinetic energy at the starting point when it is getting disclosed. Okay, are you getting my point? Potential energy is equal to kinetic energy, and at what condition I am just taking this, at when this body, okay, now when this granite body is stable, and just it is just about to start to slide, at that moment the potential energy will be equal to the kinetic energy, and it is nothing but the law of conservation of energy. Okay, so what will be the potential energy? Potential energy will be mgh. Because all of you know this potential energy is due to the virtue, or by the virtue of its position, because it is maintained at a height, that's why it is possessing some potential energy. And what is the kinetic energy? Kinetic energy is by the virtue of its motion, so it is half mv square. Mm cancel out, so g value is given to be 10. Height, we have the height of 20 meter we calculated, is equal to half mass is over then V is we have to calculate. So in this case, this 2 will come this side. This is 400 is equal to V square. Now V is equal to, this is 20 meter. This is 400, square root of 400 is equal to 20 meter. Okay, now this is one process of doing the numerical, this numerical, whatever it is concerned. Okay, now we are considering that whatever the potential energy is equal to the kinetic energy, and here also we are considering that the condition this potential energy is equal to the kinetic energy, this condition is only satisfied, we are considering, when or at the starting point of the dislodging or disconnection, when it is getting or when it is starting to move. Okay, at that point of time, the potential energy and the kinetic energy, we are just making it same. This is nothing but the conservation of energy. Okay, but if we consider now this block 20 kg, now it is sliding. Okay, now when it is sliding, the acceleration it is experiencing is different. Okay, the acceleration you can see, this is 10 meter per second square acceleration. This acceleration is directly vertical downward, but when it is moving along this side, the acceleration it is also, okay, the force component, they are also divided into two parts, m sin theta and m cos theta, or g sin theta, g cos theta. And g sin theta is the parameter which is responsible for its moment. Okay, so if we consider what the v square minus of u square is equal to 2as, if we just consider this equation, so what is the velocity we have to calculate? V square minus of u, it is the initial time, that is 0. Now I am also considering now the friction or the movement of this granite body along this inclined plane. Okay, so u square is equal to 0, and I am also considering at the same time when it is getting detached. Okay, so this is 2. What is this a is not simply 10. What is the magnitude of this a? This is a sin theta, because this total g is nothing but the acceleration due to gravity, that is 10 centimeter, 10 meter per second square. But for the moment of this granite body, on not only simply not the g is no, whole g is not acting here. So only g sin theta, this component is acting over here. Okay, and what is the s is given to be 40 meter, isn't it? This is 40 meter. Now I can just find out v square is equal to 2. What is a value? 10. Sin 30. Okay. Into 40. So this will be v will be square root of 2 cross of 10 cross of half cross of 40 square root. So this will cancel out. This is 400. Square root of 400 is equal to 20 meter. So in this case also we can solve this numerical. And always remember, when you are considering this thing, you have to be very careful about what is the acceleration which is causing the motion. Okay, but in this case what we did only the conservation of these things, where at the starting point this acceleration, at this starting point what was the velocity? Okay, what was the velocity, what was the acceleration, and only the kinetic energy and the potential energy, we just equated two things. Okay, and here we directly put the z value to be 10, isn't it? Don't confuse, it is actually basically, I just want to tell you these things. Don't confuse. Why? Because when we are considering the potential energy here the potential energy p is equal to, this is mgh. Now, the potential energy or the energy by the virtue of its position is directly mass, and what is the amount, what is the height, and why I am just directly putting the value of g10, because I am just considering only the g component. Okay, I am not considering the motion along this direction. if I am considering the motion along the inclined plane, then I will have to be bit very serious, because the motion which is causing, okay, the acceleration which is responsible for the motion of this granite body along this inclined plane, that is not pure g, that is the one component of that g, that is the g sine theta. That's why here your a value will be different, but only then you can get the right answer. Okay, so there are two processes. Be very sincere, be very careful about this when you are using this formula or that formula. Okay, so I think what is the answer? Answer is 20 meter per second square. So I think this much of explanation is fine. If you have any kind of doubt, then you can ask me. And another thing I just want to tell here, that this is our YouTube. You can go to our YouTube channel. In the about, you can find our link tree, website, Telegram, WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook, all social media platform. You just click and you will be added to this all social media groups. And our application is also available on the Play Store, so you can directly go and download this. So thank you very much. And if you're interested to join our group, then you can directly contact to these numbers or simply put a mail to these numbers. Thank you very much. And best of luck for upcoming exam. Thank you.